Okay, last review 4. So here's what I did. I took a look at my pentagon and I knew there's 5 triangles that were the same. I wanted to draw the one triangle. I needed the central angle for all of these, so 360 divided by 5, because the 5 angles gave me 72. And I found these two other angles from 180 degrees, and I know that they are equal. So what I did is I found this side here using a lot of sines. And when I ended up getting this side to be 8.5, then I knew both of these sides are 8.5. The area of a triangle is 1/2 adjacent side times the other adjacent side times the sine of the angle. And then I knew there were 5 of those triangles, so I multiplied the whole thing by 5. I used my calculator and got that answer. Okay, number 2, ship A heads off in a bearing of 30 degrees towards the east. Ship B heads off a bearing of 70 degrees towards the east. They go for 2 hours, so that's going to be 16 knots and 20 knots. The angle between is 80, because I know 180 in a straight line. So I just used the law of cosines, and I wound up getting 23.34 knots for this length. Then if I needed the bearing for A to rescue B, I really need this angle here. So I knew that if this were 30 degrees, hold on, let me get pen so you can see it. This is 30 degrees, and that here is also 30 degrees, because these are parallel lines. So then I found the value of A, angle A, the whole angle A, using the law of sines. I got 57 degrees. I subtracted that 57 from this 30, and I got the bearing to be 27.5, so head south, 27.5 degrees towards the east, okay? Number 3 is just a trig identity, cosine over sine, 1 over cosine, cancel, 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 I get an answer of 1, okay? On the back side, again, you can pause this if it gets going too fast. Tangents, sine over cosine, cotangent, cosine over sine, and then, of course, secant is 1 over cosine squared. So I got a common denominator up here, multiplied by sine over sine, cosine over cosine, and then I wound up with sine squared plus cosine squared, which is 1. I flipped it, invert and multiply, cosine cancel with the cosine over sine is cotangent, okay? Number 3, before I even start, check my mode, radian mode, because it says that you're going to be doing it between 0 and 2 pi. So then I solved it, and I went sine inverse. I got a negative answer, not good, so I added 2 pi to it to get my first answer, and I subtracted pi to get my second answer. We've done this before, okay? Number 6, added 2, square rooted, it's square root of 2, but when I flip it, it becomes 1 over square root of 2 over 2, but if you rationalize that, it becomes square root of 2 over 2, which is all over the unit circle. So we've got cosine square root of 2 over 2 is pi fourths, 7 pi fourths. Cosine negative square root of 2 over 2 is 3 pi fourths and 5 pi fourths, okay? 7, I brought the tangent over, common factor out of tangent, got tangent equals 0 and tangent minus 1 equals 0. On the unit circle, 0 and pi. On the unit circle, once it equals 1, pi fourths and 5 pi fourths. Okay, 8, I had to change them both to sine, so I had an identity. Cosine squared is 1 minus sine squared. Brought everything over, so I could factor it. Sine of x plus 1, sine of x minus 2. For my mini equations, I get sine equals negative 1, sine equals negative 2. Can't be negative 2, throw that out. So just one answer at 3 pi halves. Get through this. 9, I graphed a sine curve. 1, 2 of them. 2, because frequencies, 2 of them in 2 pi, from 3 to negative 3. And then I just moved everything up 2, so the whole graph went up 2, okay? Number 10, if cosine is negative 5/13, then the x is negative 5 and the r is 13. By Pythagoras' theorem, I get y to be 12. It has to be positive 12 because we're at quadrant 2. So then sine is just y over r, tangent is just y over x, cosecant is r over y, and I just plugged in the values, okay? Almost done. The biggie. So I divided the triangle into 2 parts. Triangle 1, 1/2, 10 times 10, sine of 132. I got an area of 37.16, okay? Now triangle 2 takes a little bit more work, triangle 2. So first I had to find this diagonal. I used the law of cosines to get the diagonal. I got 18.3. Then I really want this angle here, alpha, so I need to find angle A first. I found angle A by the law of sines. I got 24. So once I get 24, I subtract that from 108, and I get alpha. So I got alpha to be 84, and for triangle 2, it's 1/2 adjacent times the sine of its angle. And I got 109.2. I added the two totals together and got it. And then finally, number 12, I just have to graph it. I know the parabola has a y-intercept of -12. So then line of symmetry, negative b over 2a, negative b over 2a. I wind up with getting 2, so there's my line of symmetry. I plugged my 2 into the equation. I got -16, so my vertex is at 2, -16. My y-intercepts, after I factor, become +6 and -2, and I just graphed it in. So that's all I have.